Hey, so I wanted to share some guidance, and I think it'll be helpful for everybody because I think everybody will be able to relate to this in some way, especially now, and especially if you are somebody who has actively been trying to better yourself. If you are a soul who is consciously aware of your soul's path, your soul's journey. Now remember, we are all souls. Every being you're interacting with on this planet is a soul, and every soul incarnates onto this planet to grow, right? To grow through life lessons, to have experiences. And not all souls, though, have that conscious awareness of that happening. And the reason for that is because sometimes they come in with an agreement with another soul or other souls that they will kind of like take the back position in an experience so that the other soul can do more growth, more healing, more ascending. Does that make sense to you? And so we're all players in it. So we all are players in the human experience, in the soul's evolution. But sometimes some of us have come here to do a lot of work. So some of us have really come in with a lot of life lessons to go through, with a lot of healing to do, with a lot of work to do. And it may sometimes feel like the other souls around us are not doing as much work as we are doing. And that's because we have a soul agreement that in this particular lifetime, they will kind of do less work on themselves and more just be a part of your experience so that you can work through them. That makes sense to you? So one of the things that Spirit wants me to talk to you about that's really, really important, though, in understanding this right now, especially because we are all going through so much transitioning, some transformation, big healing, is we have to be careful and not confuse the cause and the trigger. Okay? We can confuse these things. So here's the thing about it. There's a cause for something. So there's a cause for everything. There's a cause for why you're feeling a certain way. There's a cause for why you're thinking a certain way. There's an actual cause for it. It's not just happening randomly. There's a cause for it. Now, there's also a trigger. A trigger is something different. A trigger is not the cause, but a trigger can ignite the same things that come up with a cause. Okay? So meaning, whatever you're feeling, whatever your thoughts are coming up, they can be triggered. Okay? Here's the thing that we need to do. We need to stop blaming the triggers as the cause. You guys following me? And by triggers, most of the time it's people, right? Most of the time it's other people in our lives. Most of the time it can be our family members. It can be people, souls that are closest to us. And they most definitely, through their words, through their actions, through their frequencies, can trigger, right? They can trigger feelings within us. They can trigger thoughts within us. Here's the key. You have to remember this. Those thoughts, those feelings, they're all generated from within. You guys following me? They're not coming from the people. The people that are triggering you are not the cause of what you're feeling and what you're thinking. You are the creator of your thoughts and your emotions. So yes, you're getting input, you're getting outside input, and that's coming through your filtering system. And then you're generating a thought or an emotion around whatever that information was. But you are the one who decides how that feels, how it processes, how it plays out. Does that make sense? And so, yes, there are causes to our pain, our suffering, our thoughts, our emotions, our experiences. There are causes for that. And those causes, from a soul's perspective, are life lessons. right? It's the same thing the analogy Spirit gives me when we have a book. It's like, it's a book. The cause is the book. You're opening the book. You're reading what's on the book, and you're having an experience because of that. And that cause is generating an experience for you to grow through. Does that make sense? So when you are in a life lesson and there's the cause and you're feeling certain things, be really mindful, because not everything you feel is going to be wonderful. This is the biggest misconception in the spiritual world. Not every experience that you have, and most of the experiences you have, are not going to feel wonderful. Why? Because you are coming here to heal. You're not coming here to release your joy and your happiness and your love. You're coming here to release your shit. You're coming here to release your density, your fear, your anger, your jealousy, your frustration. You're coming here to release that, to heal that, to transmute it, to transfer it. Right? Does that make sense? So when you're healing those frequencies, which we all carry, because we will all have experiences that will generate the thoughts that create the emotion, right? And then we hold those frequencies. We will have those frequencies within us. Do not be upset with yourself or frustrated with yourself if you start to feel some of those dense emotions, especially when we are going through big energy cycles. Especially if you are somebody who is on the path of consciously awakening. Do not feel like those negative feelings that are coming through or coming up for you are bad. Remember, they came in. The experience came through. We created these frequencies through our thoughts, through our feelings. We created these frequencies. And now as we heal, we have to move these frequencies back out. Right? They don't just disappear. You don't just read a book or go to a class and see a teacher or talk to a guru, and all of a sudden, boom, all of the frequencies, the dense frequencies, just evaporate. It doesn't work like that. We are on a planet where density exists, and those lower vibrational frequencies are very, very dense. They're like sludge in the body. They're heaviness, and so it will feel uncomfortable as you go through the layers and release them. Now, be really, really mindful of the dialogue that you are using when this process is happening, okay? As an example, it's, one of the best teachings that I've ever received, which has made my spiritual journey so much easier, is having the understanding of all of the aspects of my being, right? We are very complex. We are not just simple. Not while we are in the human avatar. When we are out of the human avatar, we are very simple because we are just energy. But in the human avatar, we have multiple layers. And so our number one guiding source is our soul. That's who we are. We also have an ego and a pain body. These are aspects of who we are. And you have to get to know these aspects of you, because they all use different lenses to experience through. And you have to have the awareness of which is the truth. What is the truth? Does that make sense? And so you can know that when you are navigating, experiencing through your higher self, through your soul energy completely, so the soul is in the driver's seat, your experience will be very different, right? It'll be very neutral. It'll be very open. It'll be very receptive. It'll be very clear. When you are allowing your ego to be in the driver's seat, and we use our ego because our ego gives us drive. It gives us determination, right? It can give us certain strengths that we need. But it can also, make us angry and fearful and bullying and, narcissistic, and right? That's all ego. And our pain body is the other aspect of us. And that pain body is an accumulation of all of the hurts, the traumas, the wounds, including generational, including, from lifetime to lifetime, from dimension to dimension. All aspects of your pain is held within your pain body. So can you imagine if you are experiencing things through the lens of your pain body, everything is going to feel sad and lonely, and you're going to be in victim energy, and you're going to have lack energy, and you're going to be highly emotional all the time about everything in a deep, wounded way. You're going to take everything personal. This is why many empaths have a very, very large pain body. Very, very large pain body. And that's because we've been through a lot of shit. We have been through a lot of shit. That comes with the job of being an empath. But we also come here to transmute that. We also come here to learn how to navigate through the different lenses, right? This is really, really important. So pay attention when you are going through a life lesson. When something is coming up for you, pay attention to who is in the driver's seat, who is saying the words, who is generating the emotion. Okay? Pay attention to this, because if your intention is to heal, to clear, to release, right? Then you had better be using the lens of your soul to go through that experience. Because your pain body and your ego are not going to do any of that stuff, because they like to keep you stuck. That's what they do. So you have to recognize when that voice comes up, and here's a big key for it. When you're feeling like you're a failure, or you're feeling like you failed, or you're feeling like you're not good enough, or you're feeling, that's not your soul talking. You get that, right? Your soul would never, your soul is full of compassion. Compassion is very expansive. There's no right or wrong in compassion. There's no blame or guilt or shame in compassion. Right? You see that? So feel into who's driving your human vehicle, who's being the lens through this particular experience that you're going through. And we do shift it. You can just shift it through having the awareness of it, right? You shift it. This is why I say get out of your mind. You need to get out of your mind, because your ego and your pain body reside in your mind. Your soul doesn't. Your soul resides in your heart. Your soul resides in your whole being. So really pay attention to who is giving you the dialogue that's creating the emotion, right? And what you need to learn through it. And remember, everything you're feeling, this is a big, big important thing to remember, because we so easily do this. This is something that the ego and pain body do. This is why healing takes so long, is that we blame triggers for how we're feeling. And if we blame the trigger, if we're constantly, it's because that person said this to me and now I'm feeling like that, or I read that and now I'm feeling like this, we're not going to heal whatever it is that we are being triggered about. Does that make sense? So pay attention to what's coming up for you now. Pay attention to the sources of your feelings and of your thoughts. And they're just saying to me, Creator, remind yourself that you are the creator. Because we come from Creator. We come from Source. So remind yourself about this. This is really important right now. And use the frequency of compassion to navigate everything right now. Sending blessings.